Okay, here we go. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, everyone. Beautiful hearts, thank you so much for joining us. We are in high vibrations today with my guest who says that we are being all called to action, that we are cleaning ourselves up on all levels, and we're entering a new time. Barbara Canals is with us, and she works with the new time energies. They are high vibrational, they're dynamic, love, intelligent, and balanced energies. And she talks a lot about becoming in touch or activating our crystalline chakras. It's really very important about the new humans that we are becoming. Let's welcome Barbara to Quantum Conversations yet again. Hi, Barbara, welcome.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to be able to speak with everyone in the audience as well.
Yeah.
A long time, so I'm excited.
Okay, so here we are in a new time. It's a new time, it's a new era, new energies, and yet here we are ahead of a portal of the equinox, the balancing energies of the equinox. Share with us more on this new time and what is required of us.
Okay, so it's just a natural evolution. First of all, it's not like anything like crazy or catastrophic like many people think, and they become really like worried and scared about it, and it's nothing like that. It just means that as we've been becoming more conscious and more aware, and this has happened throughout time, if we look back, there was a lot more people that were unaware before, and now there's a lot more people that are aware. And we're going through with this opening up this equinox and this time now in 23rd September and everything else, another really big opening is happening where a lot of people are about to take more responsibility. Taking more responsibility is becoming more conscious, becoming more aware, and being able to own that awareness. So imagine and it's coming into balance. So what happens is we have a side of ours in this world, everything is dual. So we have a side of ours that is like light and a side that's dark. So that dark is nothing bad. It is our shadow, and it is the part that we are unaware of. So we have the conscious light, the conscious part, and the unconscious part within us. So what's happening now is that we can actually open up more of that unconscious part, the part that we're unaware, so that we can bring it into balance. Because we don't want to be so high out in the light, because if you go all the way out into the light, then you're gonna have to everything's dual here, so you're going to have to go deep down into the darkness. So what we're doing is bringing this light and dark together so that we can be in balance, and we can actually anchor into the body. We don't want to go out anywhere. We want to be in the body, because the body, our own body, is a map to everything. Our heart is an access to our divine purpose and our truth of who we are. So it's a map to the cosmos without having to go out into the cosmos. Everything is within ourselves, in our heart. So that's the taking responsibility, starting to look at those parts of ourselves that we have been unaware about, those patterns that we've been repeating over and over for generations, and for lifetimes, and start resolving those, because we cannot keep evolving if we don't resolve those. When we resolve those, we're able to bring into balance, bring more light into our body.
So how does one begin to identify those areas that we're unconscious of?
Mm-hmm.
The triggers, is it that which keeps us from our happiness and our joy?
Yeah.
So it's like the troubles, the challenges, those are actually gifts, is what you're saying. So what do we do with that? How do you go in there?
So we have to start wanting to become aware, wanting to ask questions. Why are we repeating that same pattern? Start like looking, being curious. So curiosity, like this is our ego side, our ego mind is actually limiting us because it doesn't allow us to be curious. It's like, oh, things are the way they are. So we have to open up to be curious and start asking questions. So, oh, okay, this is happening to me. I'm revisiting the same situation with different people over and over in my life. Or I keep, things keep happening around me. And most importantly, where we're acting as victims, like all these things happen to me. So we have to become aware of that, where we're thinking blame and thinking, oh, we're not, these thoughts of like, I'm not good enough, or thoughts of I'm too scared, I'm too fear. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just becoming aware of these thoughts. And then, and this part where we're the victim, oh, these things always happen to me. While we're in those thoughts, in those patterns, and we don't want to look at them, because that's what happens sometimes when we want to be in that victim mentality, in that we don't want to look at this stuff. So it's becoming really true to ourselves and knowing so clearly, remembering so clearly that you came to this earth to do something.
Oh, yes. Okay. That really sounds so empowering, because it's so easy, Barbara, to slip into despair, or what I love to call a pity party, right? Or blame others. We have just such a natural tendency, if we're not feeling right, or if someone says words to us that just makes us, whoa, that was rude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's exactly what you're saying. So if someone says something to us that catches us off guard or makes us go, that was rude, that was unkind, then that's actually something where we have to be responsible. So as we're responsible, it's empowering that it's all on us. It's absolutely all on us.
Right there, when that person,
Yes, go ahead, please.
yeah, right there, when that person is rude, you have a choice of how you respond. You can be the victim and be hurt by it and get caught up in that person was rude. Oh, that person, they're so mean. Give that person all your energy, because that's what you're doing. You're losing all your energy. Or you have the choice to stand up and say, okay, well, maybe they did that without knowing any, they just happened. It's nothing against me. And I choose to either, well, I don't really connect with this person, so I'll go and choose other people. Or you have the option to get wrapped up into that and lose your energy, or to think, I'm going to do this other thing and create the world that I want.
All right, this is good. I'm getting goosebumps as you speak. So when you relate it to the energy, because we can feel that, right? This is really, as we become responsible and more aware, we're actually becoming more aware of our energy. And so when someone does that to us, wow, you really said it perfectly. We're losing our energy. We're draining our energy. So when we begin to feel this way, that allows us to stop in the moment, does it not? It allows us to put our spine straight and come back into center, choose differently, and choose love. And I like to say the Ho'oponopono in situations like that. I've been experimenting with those 4 powerful, beautiful phrases, and they're so effective. I mean, by this time, hopefully everyone watching this knows what those 4 phrases are. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. And as we say those, I've literally watched people, for one thing, it helps me with my energy, but then it also shifts the energy right there. So that's really important, that we are able to feel our energy, to watch our energy. So then the flip side of that, all right, so the Ho'oponopono, to help us get through that sticky stuff. How do you take it to the next level? You said, or, we could feel sorry for ourselves or be the victim, but then we can go out and make it and do something powerful in the world. What do you do in that case? What do you do in taking that energy and turning it into something effective and powerful and world changing?
Yeah, well, that's depends for each person, it might be, but out of that, you can actually learn a lot and teach other people, or make a choice to create something else that is, to start making your world and to start giving yourself value, your self-worth. And once you find your worth and value, you can, and you're like, okay, that's not what I want or where I want to be going. So I start looking for the world that I want to create. But it's not, my own universe, my own life that I do want to create. And that means many times you're going to be a way shower. That's what a way shower means. Once you make those choices, not towards what's taking your energy away, but what fills up your energy and enhances, you start showing the way for others. And even just like, it doesn't have to be like, because sometimes we're programmed that things need to be really big and we have to create these big programs, but or big things, and sometimes it's just the simple act of when you're leading yourself with, it's because that's leadership in a way. You're going in the direction that your purpose, your heart pulls you in, and you're brave because it's about courage and braveness to pull through to that. And it just like, people just see you. It's the energy that you're going to be emanating. And then people are just going to be, what? Oh my God, seeing something. The people that I've learned the most of is not those that have spoken necessarily about things. It's the people that I've seen like actually act in certain ways, like just lead by example. It's the way that we learn, it's like I've modeled people. I've looked at them and been like, oh, wow. Okay. There's a way to be more compassionate. There's a way to not get wrapped up also in certain things. And that's really, I think that's what we do for each other. We're showing each other the way. And there's a lot of people that need to move through, so there's a lot of people, everyone has a divine purpose and a reason why they're here. And that one of the reasons is that there's a lot of people that need to still learn that leadership and make better choices. Make choices that are life affirming, let's call, that is more about becoming more whole and hold more self-worth, more love within them. And that takes, I learn every time about this. I realized this summer, I was like, I had like a whole like revision of like times and spaces where I was putting my energy into it. I was like, no, that's not where I want to put my energy into anymore. It's not where I'm of value anyways to these people. I'm not of value. I'm going to go and work with the people, or hang out, not even work, just hang out with the people that see value in me because I value myself so much. So why am I, still trying? And that whole, you see in our society, part of like the big thing is about belonging. And I had this big core wounding for me of belonging, trying to fit in a way when I was a kid that didn't really fit in, I brought something else, and I didn't fit into the patriarchal society we see, or like, where like it's business and the hustle and all that stuff. But I really tried. And so it's like, we're like a lotus or an onion, we keep peeling layers. And this summer, it was like another huge layer came off where I was like, wow. I realized it was eye-opening. I became so aware of how much time I had been spending trying to fit in places where I just don't. And why did I need to do that? It's a question of unworth, I didn't feel myself worthy, and look, and that was like another big step of like, okay, there it was another big surge of like my own energy of being like, oh yeah, no, you're worthy. There's a lot, you have to go find your places, not try and fit in where you don't, and try and mold yourself to be something that you're not. We need to own our own, like our own energy, our own divinity, and our own radiance.
It's so beautiful. Thank you. Go ahead.
No, and it's hard because it's scary,
Right. Yeah.
That's the step of responsibility every time. We don't do it out of the blue. It's step by step by step. Every time we can expand more, hold more, and
Yes. All right. So no more pity parties, because okay, there's so many ways that we can have a pity party for ourselves. That my goodness, where to even start? Looking out at the world, comparing ourselves to others, caring about what other people think. These are programs that run so deeply. Wanting to step up and be of service, so many light workers are shy or hesitant to be seen, to be heard.
Mhm.
But then there's a program, what is it? There's even a book, I don't give a F. I don't give a F. I don't give a, right? Where if we kind of take that attitude, we don't care about what other people think, but this is really reclaiming our power. And that's a big, big step. And so, you know, and so we want to take our Zoom audience, those of us who are on Zoom and you've got questions, or even our YouTube channel. If you have questions, put them in the chat and we'll try to get them. If you're on Zoom, raise your hand and you can ask Barbara some questions. She can help navigate you through any challenge that you're having. But I wanted to ask, so then, you know, we can see where we can stop ourselves from having a pity party, right? We can see where I'm not going to go there. And this responsibility, I don't even know if there's a question here, Barbara, because I can sense the empowerment by remembering to go into our heart and feel the essence of who we are. So what do you do when you're in the middle of that? And did you explain that? Maybe you did, but I just want to ask one more time. What do you do? Like, do you just breathe? Do you get quiet? Do you cry a little bit? What is your protocol for overcoming that moment of despair?
I think it's, yeah, with breath, staying open, but always going to the breath and come into the body. Also, maybe like hug your body or do like some movement, because everything, energy or emotion, that's what, like emotion, it's in the body. It's energy moving through the body. So we need to work with our bodies. We forget our bodies so much. So it's like, so it's maybe you'll want to like hold yourself, because we need to learn to hold ourselves. Nobody's going to hold us, so that you can tap your thymus. That brings you back, because usually when we spiral out, is like we're shooting out of our bodies, but we want to be in our body so that we can have more, because from our bodies we can expand. So you want to tap your thymus, for example. You want to breathe. Most of us don't know how to breathe, and breath is spirit. So I want to bring spirit up. Like I've realized as I've evolved and expanded more and everything else, my breath, I breathe with my whole body. I breathe through every pore of my body, through every cell in my body. And that's amazing. And when I realize that I don't do that because I'm in the hustle or more stress, I'm like, wait. And then it's back again. And it's like you can notice all your energy sort of. So we need to learn that, how to breathe again, as part of the steps. And these are tools. So you tap here, you hug yourself, and you let all that energy you might be feeling, all the energy sort of like dropping back into the body. And that gives you space. That gives you perspective. Why? Because you're not out in the body and rushing in the mind and that spiraling thoughts, but you come in. And from there, because what you're doing is you're coming into the body, you're coming into the heart. You can put a hand in your heart and another on your right hand on your heart and the left one on the top of your head. And also breathe with that intention. And that brings you all down and brings you into the heart. And it's very different when you take decisions and actions from the heart than from the mind. And from that stress, from the ego mind that's like ready to go and grasp. And when you're in your heart, you can see a lot more. You can relax and you realize that things don't necessarily are about you, or, you can have like a higher perspective, a more expanded perspective, and start taking action from there. And if you follow your heart, even the places I find where there's fear, there'll be, if I keep connecting into the heart, and it's a lot about like putting your energy, connecting into physically. So putting your hands on your heart, because that's going to bring your attention there. And so you find that it's so much easier to overcome that fear, those challenges, let's say, that fear, those things, that like, for me, when I was first starting to speak publicly, I didn't want to. It was so scary to me. It was like I would like have the symptoms that so many people have, like, the throat chakra, like blubbering up, everything, heart racing, like air in my head, that like you can't think, you can't speak. All the system goes crazy, all out of whack, So it's about giving yourself space. If you come into that heart, that system is able to self-regulate, and start being calmer and start delivering a message and doing those actions. But that's what I'm saying. We don't want to just like jump to doing things that are crazy. It's step by step, because it's about, we're giving our whole system an understanding that it's safe here on this earth, because it hasn't been safe. We carry a memory, and it hasn't been safe for eons of time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we have to give it that safeness so that it starts being able to open up every time more and more and more.
Really very important about being in the body. And those are really good tips. Thank you. Very, very practical and
in the heart, we start becoming heart conscious. So up until for a long time, we've been like mind conscious, or in that ego mind state of mind. But that's the shift we're doing. We're going from that ego mind into the heart to become heart conscious and to live from our heart. When we live from our heart, we live with compassion, we live with openness, we live with awareness, we live with the joy of what we came here to do, and with collaboration, with expansion, with wanting to speak. So like those fear, the heart coherence is stronger than those fears that can limit us, that we've been wired with. So it's, yeah. And the thing is, the amazing thing is, it's easier to do it every time more, and there's no pulling ourselves down because we haven't made it yet. It's about coming into that heart and connecting with that heart and knowing that we can keep on going. The thing is, to be able to connect with the heart more and drop more down into the body, we need to take care of our body. So we need to, because our world right now, our earth, is intoxicated. Our food is intoxicated. Our soil, our water, our everything. It's not clean. It's been intoxicated. What does that toxicity, when we eat it, when we have it, do to our bodies? It makes it like go crazy again. So we can't really be in our bodies. Right? We disconnect. It's sort of like a spirit and body disconnection. So we need to clean our environments, our food. We need to eat clean food. We need to eat clean water. We become aware every time more, like what your body really needs, what your spirit, what are you putting into your body? Are you eating junk food all day? So that's not going to make anyone feel better. It's not going to make you feel more connected. Or are you starting to really give attention to those, to the things that are nourishing you? The same with environments. What we were talking at the beginning, what environments are you with? Are you with nourishing people that are adding to your energy? Or are you around people that are subtracting to your energy? So we're growing. It's like we have to be really true to ourselves and start looking at like, okay, what choices am I making in my life? And what am I choosing to add? Now I know sometimes it's hard to really be true with ourselves or get out. There's this with our old energy system, the old aura structure that I talk about, it sort of like pulls people back and they can't make the step forward, So there's this way that, I always talk about aura transformation, and this is an in-person treatment that I do and many other practitioners do. But there's this ability of like upgrading our energy system, so our aura that contains our karma and all the emotional, background. It's like that's tearing down that old aura into a new one, which is crystalline. It's a high frequency aura. And what happens there is that there's a massive consciousness expansion. And one is a lot stronger to be able to overcome these challenges, let's say. Because I know with that old aura, and that happened to me, was like very tough to evolve out of. For me, I was super sensitive. My aura was completely broken. And so even though I was working with a lot of people, but my aura, so everyone was taking my energy. And this happens to even a lot of like light workers that are working with people. And so I couldn't make changes, and like everything was a drag. I wasn't strong enough. And once I upgraded my aura, I was like, I let go of all those things from the past, karmic and emotional stuff and lineage stuff and everything that were pulling me down, right? And not allowing me to make these changes and choices and everything and to evolve. And I was finally, what this aura does is that you finally can ground your spirit into the body, right? And it holds like so much frequency that you can actually start grounding like, your consciousness, because we're these huge beings. I mean, we're limited, we're huge, and there's so much that has to come into the body. And every time it's hard to bring all this into the body. And every time we have to do it step by step. But with this other aura, which is the crystal aura that the children of today have, it's sort of like much easier and much more possible. You sort of have, so imagine your aura is like a container. So one is full of a container that's sort of like broken and full of, excuse my language, but sort of like shit and stuff, because it's all the karma and all the bad stuff. And then you change to this aura, which is crystal container, which is completely clear and it's impenetrable. So it like holds actually all your energy, high frequency. And so it's amazing. And so it's incredible because you also understand all these children that have like, these super abilities and are so clear and direct and know exactly what they want and go for it. And it's beautiful.
Oh, that is all right. So let's see. We have a couple people with their hands raised. Again, we're going to put this out there to our audience. Share a question for Barbara. She's here to answer your questions. And we're going to talk a little bit about the crystal energy structures and the process of crystallization. Again, you say that this is what allows us to anchor spirit in the body. And you mentioned aura transformation, but what do you mean by crystal energy structures? We are becoming crystalline, yes? So what does that mean? What is our future then, the way that you see it?
So instead of carrying all that emotion that is limiting us and all that, we're actually activating as we crystallize when spirit comes into each one of our cells. So little by little, our cells keep crystallizing and keep opening up to more information, right? And in those, and that information is, let's say, the good stuff. So it's all our gifts, our talents, our innate knowing, where I don't have to actually, I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to ask guides or angels or anything about any information because my cells are active. I just ask myself. We are infinite libraries of knowledge. So when your cells crystallize, that's what's happening. It like opens up all this immense knowledge and gifts and what you brought here to do and everything else. And that's the process that like everyone on this earth, as we keep evolving, is going to have to go through crystallizing. And so, and you can crystallize, well, when you have a really good diet, when you have, when you're making, with good diet, when you're around children, because they'll activate your crystal, they're sort of like crystal, and that rubs off the energy. When you, doing sports, also the clearer your body is basically because in our body, all the issues are so like the issues in our tissues. One of my teachers back in the day showed me that when I was working with kinesiology and all understanding, because I worked for a long time understanding all the body makeup and actually our system, how our whole system works, and our organs and everything. So you have to go and release the issues from that tissue. So as our tissue clears out, we can start crystallizing. So our whole system can start. So the clearer we are, and that's what I speak about, the healthier food we eat, the cleaner water we drink, the more we're out in nature, that's going to help us so much to crystallize, so healthy living, let's say, and holistic living gives us access to that crystallization. Now, the difference between with aura transformation, and so everyone's going to end up crystallizing. If you don't crystallize, this is not to be catastrophic, but at a certain point, people are not going to be able to evolve So what's going to happen is that one transcends and comes back already with a crystal aura, right? Because the frequency, when you become more crystal, your frequency goes up. And the frequency of the earth and all these children that are bringing a new frequency, a higher frequency, it's like it just keeps evolving. So the people that are very low frequency at a certain point are going to transcend, and they'll be born again with a crystal frequency. Yeah, and the crystal aura. Now, yeah. So with aura transformation, what happens is it permits this specific transition. So from that old aura to create a new crystal structure, a crystal aura. Because what's happening for most people is they're crystallizing in their bodies, but they're not crystallizing in their whole system, in their aura. Yeah. And what will happen mostly is that the aura, if we see it as a bubble like this, so parts will be sort of open, not completely like a closed system. Whereas when you aura transform and you let go of that old aura and you put on the new one, it's actually a closed system. And that allows you, and then the crystallization process starts, and it's 9 months of crystallization process where you keep opening up, and then you're a closed system in itself. So you're a balanced system in itself. So what happens is your masculine and feminine come into balance, and your elements. So your fire, which is your drive and your passion, and then your water, which is the flow in life and your intuition, and then your earth, which is your structure and how you ground and materialize in this earth, because it's really important that we start materializing and laying down our gifts that we come here to do. And then our air, which is how we think and how we understand and communicate, all come into balance too. If those 4 elements are in balance, which they're not in the old structure, in the old aura, in our karmic times, if they come into balance, then life starts sort of like happening, in a much more effortless way. And we're a closed system. We don't need anything from anyone else necessarily, and we don't attach to anyone else. The thing is, we choose to collaborate, and then we start expanding from there. And it's an energy. Once you have this, it's an energy. Those are the new time energies. And it's the energy that keeps on giving. You're always, I feel, for me, that I'm always being upgraded constantly, and I'm constantly having insights. I'm also open to be that curious and stuff, but especially, this is an important point, that what makes us curious is once we have no judgment over things and over ourselves. Because it's that judgment that we feel so bad about myself, that there's so much shame that doesn't allow us to be curious, to be open, to say, hey, I was bullied, or I was this, or I was that, and that sort of crumbles us up too.
Yes. Okay. And I think you've answered my question, but then I see someone just put it in the chat as well. And this is, how would you know that you're truly starting to crystallize? Some would call it in the flow. Like when you're in the flow and all the doors are opening, figuratively, they're opening, and you're getting insight and you're feeling fresh and you're feeling passionate about things. Was that the indicator that we're becoming more crystalline?
Yeah, that for sure. You're becoming much cleaner from anything, that's also holding you back, limitations, because we are illimited beings. So as we move forward and we become more limited, and you're like, whoa, I can actually create this and that, and I can be, and you realize you're completely crystal when you're able to be, when you don't question if you're crystal or not, because one knows.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
but it's a knowingness. It's a knowingness. We know more. We're confident. We are calm, courageous, but we know, right? There's a knowingness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah. And but it's but it depends, because and it always depends, in my how it is, I was crystal before. I was already crystallized, or partly crystallized, before I came across aura transformation, and I had my aura transformation. And I was actually crystallized in my body, but I was really tired. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of people that have ascension symptoms, you know, that you'll be crystallized in your body, but you'll still be, it's sort of like I was in between two worlds, sort of being pulled between the old system, you know, and the new. So all of a sudden, and it's actually a very uncomfortable space, how I experience it, very uncomfortable space to be. It's like a no man's land. And then you're pulled maybe into this new, and you can sustain it for a while, but then you're pulled back so strongly into the other one, you know, and then you crumble. So you have like, so it's not a self-sustaining system. So I speak to the people that are really in that state, because for me, it was really hard to start creating the things that I wanted to, you know, that I couldn't think about them, but I couldn't materialize them. I couldn't, because my system, this old, was pulling me too much. So for me, in that sense, aura transformation and upgrading my whole system and having this closed system where nobody could take my energy, was amazing. It just like, you know, it was like, now I'm finally sustained. Now I finally, like, what happened to me was that all of a sudden I just saw myself huge. I was like, okay, I'm this being, I am this aura, I am this, you know, I end here. People were all the way here before. Now I don't let anyone, this is like energetically, you know? And it's like, now I hold to myself and I take up space. And when your aura, you might be crystal, but your aura might be just completely like torn and down and everything. So you don't take space either, because you don't know where you begin and you end, because all this aura, all this space around is sort of like broken down, you know? So it's sort of like you're a house, the physical house, and then you have the garden and the fence. So it's like, imagine that fence is sort of broken down and everyone can step into your garden and pretty much open your door and come into your house. That's not good, you know, because people are taking over your space. So you have to care. So like what happens is, like, all of a sudden I had like my house and all the garden and the fence, and I could decide who was coming in and not. And I was a self-sustained system.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. It seems like just listening to you and sensing our own intention to become more crystalline, is that doing some of the work as well? Again, it's being responsible for our energy and holding our space. So by doing that, by eating right and being clean, being clear, clearing out the old, moving past all judgment.
Yeah.
That's naturally making us crystalline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Whether we know it or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that this is, you know, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be like a spiritual person. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the spiritual that we think. Do you know what I mean? It could be, I mean, there's people that live, I mean, that are super connected. That's what I was saying. I've met like incredible people that have just like, maybe like in mountains or like, you know, and that have just taught me like amazing lessons just about the way they were doing things, you know? So yeah. It's like, that's a judgment that, oh, like people that are very spiritual have it all, like, and it's not. It's like I feel like the best we can do is get closer to the earth, to the ground, and those people that are slower and getting closer to the ground and understanding just the information of nature, because we are nature. I was talking about the elements that we are, you know, and actually each element is connected to a different dimension. That's how we actually, you know, move beyond the 3D, if you want to, you know, want to think it's through each dimension has a different quality of the different elements. And that's how we keep spiraling and evolving in the dimensional world. So, yeah, it's, you know, we have to get rid of that sort of judgment. It doesn't have to be spiritual people. It's about if somebody's like living in nature or close to nature or in communion with nature, eating well, taking care of their bodies, because their body is that, you know, it's what's becoming crystal. It's our cells that are becoming crystal. Being able to become aware of those emotions instead of like, just like something hurts you and closing it up and allowing that to like become a dark ball, or I see it many times like a dark, you know, tar or dark water inside your body and, you know, fester there. And that's That's not gonna, so we have to get rid of all of that, those really heavy emotions and those heavy patterns that are just pulling us down. And once you do that, yes, it activates the crystallization process. Movement also, and once you're like finally living in joy and living in, doesn't mean that life is easy, because sometimes things are like open up and it's very magical and synchronistic, and stuff, and it's like and that's amazing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we have to be really strong and keep on like working for what we want, and what we came here to do. But like, it's about being being able to still be in joy, and to still enjoy even the toughness of life, because it's a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, very well said. Okay. Well, inspiring to say the least. You are inspiring all of us, and it's empowering. We've got questions. We're going to get to those questions, but I wanted you to share a little bit more. You said something intriguing about the elementals within us, and how they're in other dimensions. Can you give us an overview of what you know about this, the dimension of the elementals?
Yeah. So, I don't know if when you say the elementals, I mean the elements. So fire, water, earth, and air. Yeah.
The elements.
No, not the element, because I don't know, like, when you say elementals, you mean like the nature beings, or?
No, the elements within us, the fire, water,
Okay. Yeah.
earth,
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like the fire is our heart, is our drive, and that's the heart energy. And this fire is what activates our access in the heart to the fifth dimension. This is the fire of our truth. And it's the fire that burns all that impurity. It's the fire that burns everything that is not true. So if you see yourself in this aura like this, and then you have like your grid, and you have all these like sort of like coding of programs and patterns that are not true. They're not, of all these limitations. So the fire comes in and burns all of that. It activates the heart. And then, so that's the fifth dimension, when you're like that fire activates your truth, your heart's desire, and what you came here to do. And then the sixth dimension is the water, and it's how we flow in life, that everything's flowing, and that we that everything flows, that we attract the relationships that we are, that everything else. So it's like, one's like action, the other one's more, relational. Then we have the earth, and that's the seventh dimension. And it's how we ground everything here on this earth. And we're finally materializing how we do the structures of this earth, because all of us chose to be on this earth, even though for many it's been so hard and we've wanted to just sort of check out, because it's easier. But no, we chose here. So it's like revisiting the earth within us, and then that seventh dimension. And then you have the eighth dimension, and that's the air. And it's that how we receive all this information, understand, study knowledge, and can process it and understand it. And at the same time, we can communicate it and deliver it to the rest, because we're here to understand, and then give messages, So, and then the spiral keeps on again. So that's the eighth dimension. And then we go the ninth, and you revisit the fire again from another perspective, because the only thing that I mentioned are different perspectives. More expanded perspectives. So you're like revisiting that sort of information from different perspectives, from different ways, and opening up to that. So so that you can, so it's always like you're expanding more, and it's like revisiting things, you're understanding. So it's like a constant like of aha moments, understanding things differently. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So like that until the 12th dimension. And
Wow.
And then the 13th dimension is back to earth. It all triggers.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you for that overview. We could go on into that, but that
it's it's sort of something that one has to experience. It's once you start activating into, it's like, as you live in the in this dimensional reality, and this gets activated with aura transformation, but it's like, and then you just as you live it, you understand it, you know, because you keep transforming, being able to hold more, to understand more. And understand doesn't mean like understand what we read in a book. It means like understand with every cell of your body, of like, oh wow, now I understand the power of this fire, and I understand how to work with it. And I, like, you know, and every time you understand more how to utilize all these elements, and how you are these elements, and what impact they have in your life, and how you relate to this earth that has these elements too, and how you're so powerful and making so much of an amazing thing here on earth, you know. It's so sad because throughout time we've just been like victims of some, you know, something that has like telling us we're so little and we can't do anything. But then once like you're able to hold this and you start having all these perceptions, you're like, no, I can do so much, even in the little things, even with my thoughts, because thoughts are so powerful. I can do so much, and the impact that can have on so much. And the impact, many things you might not see the impact straight away, but it could be huge at a certain point, you know. Many things of the things that we do, we don't see the impact of. They might be incredible, you know?
Yeah. So that could be a mastery empowerment course someday, because I know that you can go deeper, and we have so many more questions, but I want to get to our audience and some of their questions. So thank you. But there is a question in our chat. What about ether? So ether, how does ether fit into our body elemental? Would that be thought? Would that be mind? What is that?
That's the air for me.
The air.
That's the air. Yeah. And I don't know in the new time, and with what I'm talking about with aura transformation, the system that you get and stuff like that, it's these 4 elements. And ether, I would think people are talking about maybe spirit. That spirit spirit comes into the body, you know?
Okay.
So,
All right.
I don't see it out of the system, because that is the whole system, you know?
I love it. Okay. Thank you for that question, Liz. Okay. Okana, you were the first to raise your hand, so I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself and share, because I do see your question here, Okana. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. But Okana, you had a question. How do I gain self-confidence? Hi, Okana.
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, I was just curious on how to gain self-confidence. I go through a day-to-day, sorry, I'm kind of fidgety right now. I'm not used to this. I go through day-to-day, you know, and when I wake up in the morning, say I have to go to the store, and I put my makeup on and I feel good about myself, but then I go to the store and I feel, I don't know, like I'm being seen, or like I have to have approval from other people to make myself feel better in a way. And it's not that I don't approve of myself per se, maybe it is. It's lacking in the self-confidence. I've always kind of lacked in being able to self-doubt. I have a lot of self-doubt, as to simply say, a lot of self-doubt. And I want to know how I can get over this. I'm working on my chakras at the moment. And as you have said, Barbara, I can relate to a lot of what you have been saying as far as being able to, let's see, I have my notes here. Being able to crystallize. And I'm going through this process, and it's difficult for me, myself, I'm having a hard time trying to find the words. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, keep saying.
Yes, I think
Great.
so. And I wanted to ask you, Okana, in your awakening, what do you think? How is your awakening going? Because I think these are common problems of those who are beginning to awake?
Well, my awakening's going actually very well, I believe. I've learning to heal a lot. I've been crying some, which is very healthy before I was in a toxic relationship. I wasn't allowed to cry or nothing like that. So learning that it is okay to cry. It is okay to do this. It is okay to be creatively expressive and bright and helpful, and to be able to be all of this, it's new to me. I've been meditating more. I've been trying to understand my guides. I haven't gotten to the full crystallization, so I do look to my higher guides. It's definitely a journey. In a way, it is kind of scary because I'm losing all of what I thought I knew and transforming into something new. So it is a little bit scary at times. I do believe that I'm sorry, I've lost my words.
Okay.
Coming into spirit, finding myself is finding myself. And I have not found myself yet, but learning. And it's very, very, I think it's exciting. It's a little bit scary, all good things though, all good things.
Yeah, it's a process, as I was saying, we don't like we're like sort of, it's a process and of understanding and holding more of our energy. So also number one, when you go to the shop, you feel good, you sort of feel good and then you want to go out. It's like, are you starting to realize the energy? What is your energy and what's other people's energies? Because you might also be just, there's this thing, it's the collective unconscious or collective conscious, which I call sort of like a massive, like in the computer, like the cloud, right? So it's like everyone's thoughts, I don't know, where are you located, by the way?
I'm in the US. I'm in Deming, New Mexico.
Okay. I was just wondering, because it depends on what places have like more of an energetic, like maybe shame or self-consciousness, like every different place, there's this collective thought, the collective thoughts of everyone. And so either you might be feeling the thoughts that are out there in the air and they're not yours and you're pulling them in, or it's like an internal, like when you were a child, what was you have to look, I mean, most of our wounding is core, and we go back to either in utero, what were your parents going through when you were in the womb, or the first 7 years of our life, and what was going on then? Did they let you make choices as a child? Were you able to speak? For most of us, we lived in this patriarchal system where we didn't choose, we weren't really taken care of in the loving way that we are now know, because they didn't know, but they didn't do better. So in the loving way that we can keep evolving. So it is a matter of now mothering, and mother comes through the whole mothering yourself. So being able to give yourself the self-respect and self-love. And I want you to put your hand on your chest and more like in between the heart and the throat. Know that it is okay to speak your truth, to allow for your heart to express. So breathing into that, and I want you to feel your breath all the way to your belly button, to your womb, and filling up that with air. So, this is a process of remembering who you really are and remembering what it is that you really, the beauty that you are within. And you might feel like energy on your lower back or mid back more, like expanding a little bit. So just allow for, if you feel that, for things just to move and breathing in. Yeah, it's about remembering who you are and that you have, it's your birthright to speak, to make choices and decide for yourself. But this is learning because maybe you haven't done it throughout your life.
Right. I can agree with, for the most part of my life, I really haven't made a lot of choices for myself. It's going into my adult life, it was a toxic relationship for 7 years. And before that, it was just chaotic for me. So really learning to acknowledge being my own mother, as I might say, is really
Yeah. So now you can make the choice of holding yourself. So maybe you want to, I'm seeing you holding like your baby, the baby that is you. So holding the baby. Yeah.
More emotionally and internally, yes, I would say so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize your I want to say tongues, but there's a different word for it. Your higher self-talk. You almost sound like you're from my planet.
Yeah. So what you're doing is we're like a muscle. So you need to train yourself how to make these choices. So instead of being like, oh, I have so much lack of confidence and self-confidence, make the choice now to be like, okay, little by little, we're going to do a little bit more. And hold, just like in your mind's eye, you can even hold like, as if you're holding your baby, literally like holding your baby and making those choices together, small choices, but with everything, even when you're like, go and choose your food, go and this and that. It's like, we need to remember. Now, if you want to, this is another, I'm going to say here, another, like, if you want to make that process much quicker, there's aura transformation. I'm always going to say it's much quicker. It's a whole, because of that aura that you contain, that you can hold, that changes, that it speeds up the process. And for many people, we have that broken aura structure, and it just becomes really hard because we feel everything. So what I was saying, maybe that self-doubt, it's a mix of both. It is the lesson that you came here to learn, and it is also the external energies and approval. And it's actually it's like lineage wise. But yeah. But if not, you just have to, little by little, love yourself in every moment, even when you feel that self-doubt, love yourself, hold yourself, because there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that, We're just learning. This is a whole experience. We're learning how to be more whole every time.
Yes. I've today I started a 3-day fast, and after today, I'm gonna work on no processed foods, which I don't eat fast foods. It's just bleh. Tastes gross to me. Nasty aftertaste. I always do home cooked meals. So I'm doing that, more iodine in my diet, fresh vegetables. I'm working on getting the garden going. So that's something that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work on getting my whole water system going, so that way I have fresh water, fresh foods, stuff like that. I had already made that decision for myself. I'm working on cutting out the meat and getting rid of a few bad habits. So I have definitely been working on that.
Yeah, that's amazing. But listen, also one thing, like, when it's like I'm working on cutting out the meat and whatever, what if like it's more about listening to that self within, you know, that little, because maybe some people do need meat, you know, and some people need other stuff. So it's more about like, I laugh a lot because after word transformation, like I'll have clients over and then it's funny because then they'll want to go and they're like, oh my God, I went and ate a pizza. And I was like, well, that's spirit in your body. It just came here to experience, you know, we think like, and it's like, enjoy it also, you know, we don't have to put, and then, you know, you can have that enjoyment. Or like some people that have been strictly like so taken so much care of their diet and like, have been like no eating meat or whatever, all of a sudden they're like, no, I go to the fridge and like all I want is actually meat. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's your spirit. It's what it needs. Maybe you've gone way too high up out of balance into like too high of a vibration, and it needs to be grounded. And that meat is going to give you ground. Now, are you going to choose to eat that meat organic and from a farm fresh, whatever, that has no chemicals, you know, and you're eating it, blessing it. Thank you for the energy that you're giving me so I can be grounded on this earth. Or are you just going to eat shitty meat full of, you know, from what?
Walmart.
Or from the horrible factories that they have, you know, with like all these cows and you know, and intoxicate your body. So it's all about intention. It's all about intention. We don't know what our spirit came here to experience, right? But we have the choice of intention of how we do those things. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely understandable.
Uh-huh.
I can say that I would definitely have a hard time eating something that I raised. I couldn't do that. But if I find an alternative way where somebody is, you know, processing their own, then I might consider that. But as far as me doing it, I don't think I could. I can't eat something I raised. It's too hard for me.
Yeah, and that's you know, it's what's important is how it is for you, for sure. You know, for each one of us, that's what we need to this new time is about being whole within ourselves, that we know what we want, but that what we want comes from our heart, from our truth. Then we can't harm anything else, you know. So it's about us, but with this higher perspective that we can look at the whole too, and it changes everything, you know. It's not, up until now, it's been either for some of us about others and pleasing, or others about taking and not caring about the rest. And so this whole, like, we start changing ourselves, but it changes the whole of society and the whole of humanity. I mean, the changes we're making are huge, and it takes time for one person and also for a whole, you know, society and humanity. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Truly, it's given me a bright path to follow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you. All right. Good for all of us too. That was a great question, Okana. Thank you for sharing. Okay. All right. And, you know, Susan, I saw your hand raised, sister, and I saw your note here. So I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself and see how we can help you. Can we help you?
I hope so.
Hi, Susan. Sorry about your friend transitioning.
Right, it's been 42 years and we were growing spiritually together. Gone.
When did this happen?
September 2nd.
So this was a good friend of yours?
My closest friend. And basically my last close friend. All the rest of them are gone. And I don't understand why they took him either. He was doing everything right. He was leading an honorable life. And I just felt completely lost, like I just don't have a purpose here anymore.
Grief, give yourself that space to grieve, right? You are in a grieving process.
Right, and then my cards that I picked some cards yesterday, and it said that I'm living in lack. Well, I just lost him. Of course, I'm in lack. It said not to do that, not to live in lack. So I feel really confused.
Have you had dreams? I'm going to just ask a question here, and then Barbara's going to take over. Have you had dreams of this person yet?
Well, I have lots of dreams in the past, but not since he died, no.
Okay, because that's more than a dream, you know, that's a visitation. So he could be on his 40-day journey through the Bardo, and just support that and honor that, and put a picture of him with a candle for 40 days and speak his name out and just send him love and light, and watch and witness. He's on his journey right now. Okay.
Okay.
It takes time. I know that sounds so easy to say, but you are in a grieving process. So now with that, Barbara, can you offer advice here for Susan?
Yeah, no, I can feel your sadness. I can feel your grief. My whole heart has,
Mhm.
there's a huge contraction there.
Yeah.
A heaviness. But yeah, it's grief. It takes at least a year to grieve somebody. At least a year. And it doesn't mean that you, it means that you hold yourself. It doesn't mean that you let yourself down though. And maybe perhaps you can make it better for yourself holding the dream or the vision that he had. And if you just breathe into your heart, because you have to remember to breathe, so breathe more into your heart. And knowing that everything is okay. There was a reason for it. There is a purpose. Even if you don't understand the why, you can connect to a place of peace within you. Ahamakoara teara no koa makera toi karanasu karanai morotoi karanea mokoa saranai morotoi garana. Breathing in and expanding the heart. More hamakareteara no koa saranai morokoi karano koa saranai morotoi karanai morokoi karanea surana. And through this heart, you can connect to this person. O homakaratari no koa sarana I morokoi karano koa saranai morokoi karana. It is through the heart that you can connect to the energy, to the remembrance. Hamakoratari no koa saranai morotoi karanai marasana. Okay. So breathing in and relaxing the mind. So there might be a little bit of confusion at the moment, but the more you think about the why and the reasons, you're in the mind, which is unbalanced. Okay. And you want to come into the heart, where you know that everything was okay. It doesn't mean that there's no grief, that doesn't hurt. But there's an inner understanding. You know it is okay. And so, feeling your feet on the ground. And letting go of a lot of this energy. You might see energy coming down through your body and into the earth. And there in the earth, it can regenerate. That's what the earth does for us. It transmutes and regenerates. It is our soil, it is our food. And it can now come up again through your body, all through your body, up through your legs, so that you can be more grounded in the body now, more in your physical. You see, when there's a lot of sadness or something like that, or emotions that we don't want to feel, we want to check out of our bodies, but we need to be here present. So you might maybe feel a release. You might not feel it now and maybe in a little bit. You have to allow yourself to keep coming to the heart and keep coming to the feet and the earth. So go, if you can, go and put your feet on the earth, out. You're on the computer now, but like walk in nature and stuff like that, because it's going to help you rebalance. It's going to help you. It doesn't mean that you can't be sad, because you're going to be sad, you know, or maybe not. I don't know, but you want to be supported by this, you know, by nature. You want to be supported in letting go of what doesn't need to be there anymore. And that's the best thing you can do for yourself.
You know, I've gone back and forth on it, or I'm okay with it, and then I'll just fall apart again. Because he died, like I said, 2 weeks ago, but I didn't find out about it. I didn't hear anything. And then I asked my cards and it said he was gone, and I didn't believe it. So 5 days later, I did it again, and it was a big yes. And that's when it really hit me. So I've actually only known since Thursday. So
Yeah.
and I'm trying to be at peace with it, and knowing that he's still there in spirit, and I feel like I could like get yes or no answers from him, but it's I still feel so lost, you know. I just, because there's like no one I could talk to, like you know, like you. And there's not a lot of people that want to talk what you're talking about because they think it's woo woo. He was basically the only person left that would understand that, and he was in it too. So I just kind of feel like I'm adrift now.
Yeah. And where you can be most supported and is, I think, in nature. When you start moving your body and be in nature and stuff like that. Because nature, you know, sometimes we don't need to speak about all this stuff if we don't have people that, you know, is not there. But nature is your biggest communion, you know, where we don't need to speak, but just observing nature, and it's going to give you so many gifts, and maybe he's going to be speaking to you through that. So just so you take care of yourself, instead of thinking, and I know like there's nobody there to speak to you and this and that, go search, you know, it's an opportunity to expand.
Wow.
Yeah, I've tried to do that here, but I don't think that I could actually be with nature unless I actually leave my property and go out into the country and really be at peace out there with all the neighborhood noise, you know, and just actually.
And can you do that for yourself? Or no? Is it something that you can do or no?
I can do it. I just haven't made the time for it.
That's the first step, you know? The first step towards loving yourself.
Thank you.
Hopefully you have the time today, Susan, or tomorrow in the morning. That time that you carve out for yourself is the greatest gift. So make time for that. We all are sending you a big virtual hug. Hope you can feel that, Susan.
So much love, Susan. Yeah.
So much love. We love you.
A huge embrace. Yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweet one. Bye. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Okay, we have a few more moments here, and I'm going to get to two more people, but I wanted to share ways that people can work with you. This is really special because you've got programs that you've put together lots of courses, mastering empowerment courses, and there's energy transmissions in those. So take a quick moment now, and then also a personal energy signature recording and the energy transmission. So there's personal sessions with you as well as recordings. Tell us about this special offer, and I'm going to put it in the link right now for Zoom and on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yeah, so I did a set of 4 energy transmissions, especially for this, because I was really like just bursting to bring this out, to bring this energy out. So it's 4 and it builds on each other. And it's sort of like, it came out that it's sort of like even like a sort of like coaching and, you know, the process of like looking at your life and everything we're speaking about. It's really interesting what we're speaking about, but it's like this, how you're like going through you know, looking at your life and starting to become true. And then there's the energetic transmission, sort of like the divine love language that I bring out, that it's just like a blast of energy. So it's like bringing through a lot of energetics to actually start clearing. So what it does, and what happened here was when that comes through, I could just see like releasing so much stuff from the people's system and pouring in new energy. So that's what you get with the 4 transmissions. That it's like, so if we have or we have all these like attachments and things and patterns, they sort of like start drifting away, pulling away, and new can come in. So that's what's happening. But there's also in these like in the recordings, the part where I'm serious about, okay, take responsibility for your life as well, your environment, your what you're choosing to have into your life. So you have that. And I'm actually super excited about these 4 recordings because I love them. They came out and I loved them so much. And so there's that. And then there's what I call the personal energy signature recording. So it is actually people send in their name, date of birth, and place of birth, and I can connect to their spirit, and then I bring through the frequencies that are ready, so like the stuff that's ready to go and the frequencies that are ready to anchor. So that's the other package where you get that and you get the 4 energy transmissions.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we can certainly feel the healing from your work, even your words, the toning and all of it. And it's so heartwarming and centering, and it's bringing us back home. You are an old soul in a young physicality, and you are so on your way that, again, I will say it gives us so much hope for the future. And you're a great way shower and a great leader. You're a great teacher for those who want to reclaim this in our lives.
I want to say something. I'm not that young. And well, it depends. But the thing is, I look really young, but that is what happens when you let go of all that old stuff, all that like patterning and emotions and everything. You start regenerating. We, as this earth, like I always say, like, look what happened when it was like times of COVID or whatever, and everything stopped. Earth just like blasted, you know, all the nature blasted out. It regenerated straight away. It was amazing. The oceans were clear, and it happens the same to us. So when the toxicity in COVID, when there was no traffic, you know, there was no pollution, there was no this, there was no birds were tripping everywhere, it regenerated. The same happens with us when our body stops being polluted. And it's not polluted only of the toxicity around, it's polluted from our own emotions, from the karmic charge that we carry, from the lineage charge. We clear that out, we start becoming younger, we start regenerating, our physicality, our cells, our actual skin changes, our brightness changes, our shape changes, our body. So it's like, embrace these changes, it's amazing. And that's the amazing thing, to like experiment, become curious, experiment. And it's like, I feel younger every single day. as I'm getting older, according to that mentality, I feel younger every day. I'm like, okay, I have a lot more energy and I'm a lot more youthful than I was 20, you know? So, or 30. So yeah,
Thank you for
that's
sharing.
an important rephrase because that's like that's a belief system,
Yes.
you know, that we age.
Yes. Thank
That
you.
come into my belief system.
Okay.
I know we can regenerate.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Your special offer is there on the link. It's on the webpage that got you here to this program. It's in the description box, wherever you're watching or listening to this video. If you resonate with this beautiful soul, Barbara Canals, then please check out her special offer and take advantage of this opportunity for your personal growth and transformation. Now it's time for, we've got 2 more hands up. So let's move through this. We've got a few more moments. Destiny, how are you doing, girlfriend? Please, you can unmute yourself. Hi.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
And wow, Barbara. Wow, she's really something, ain't she? Thank you for all of that because I feel like I've been doing this for a long time. And it's, kind of what you mentioned about feeling like you don't have control over all of it, or feeling like I'm trying to see how to word this. Feeling like I want to have all of me working together. How about that? Unification.
Yeah.
And there's definitely something going on with my head, like the back of my neck, the frontal brain in my head. And I don't understand. It's got like to do with the head and the feet.
I don't know, but I'm feeling the pain. It's like a bit of like a wire, no?
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Well, at least for the last, it's been going on for quite some time, but it comes and goes.
Mm. Mm. Are you moving your body?
Yes, I am moving my body. I'm actually moving my body right now, but that's what I don't understand. I don't understand what all of this is because it comes and goes like I'll be on a really good place where I'm like working on myself, and then all of a sudden I'll get to this place where I feel like I'm not even, like I haven't done hardly anything. And I don't, and I know that I've been working at this for like 7 years almost.
Mm-hmm. Well, 7 years is not a long time.
Well,
So
7 years of this particular experience.
okay. Um, you go forward and then it's the old patterns pulling you back. And that's the
Yeah.
headache.
And it's like the mind gets involved, but it doesn't just feel, it feels like, you know what, I say I'm not the mind, because honestly, I don't know what all this is right here, but I don't feel like I would do this to myself. I know I've been working through a lot of shadow stuff and a lot of different stuff, but I can't say that I want to claim all of this because I don't
Yeah.
know that it is.
Yeah, it's stuff that is not even, that's what you said, stuff that is not even yours, you know, like we have so much conditioning, so much stuff that is like energies that is not even ours, because we come from like a huge like cosmos with very different different energies with very different intentions, let's say. And so a lot of us, this is not ours. We're not conscious about it, but it's not really ours. It's like we've been somewhere at a certain point, somewhere out in the cosmos, and we still carry that in our system, in our head. And I think that's what's happening to you. It's, yeah. So let me see if I can, if you want to close your eyes and just. It's a bit like, well, this energy needs to be blasted out. So if you just want to, with your intention, send all that energy back to where it came from. And you can
Yes,
see
please.
leaving like all of your head. You can just, it has to be your intent, leaving all of your head and leaving, just going back into. And I can feel it. It's actually like pulling through the, still wanting to stay in there. So you have to be firm, you know, when we affirm, we want like, and take your new direction. Okay. So breathe in and breathe out, and it might take a while, but
Is there something I should say? Like I affirm that I'm ready to
no.
start a new, my new direction. Yeah, my new direction.
Yeah, that's just, you send everything back.
And
You
send
send that
everything back.
and you call back your power. You call back your energy, and that's all.
Send
And
everything.
firm.
So it could almost be like a return to sender thing, but I've been doing that for a long time.
Mhm.
But I send everything back and call all of me back.
Yeah, all of your energy back.
All of my energy back. Yeah. Yeah, I do that every day.
I do it with an intention. Your intention needs to be more firm. Yeah, you're commanding. You need. This is a command
Man.
to send this energy away. So that's really important. To work, we need to be commanders of our own system.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
You can do it. You're
okay.
I already feel it's better. Yeah.
I command to send this energy away. This energy must leave my body. It is not mine. And I call all of me back to me now. From all time, space, dimension, I call me back. This is me, and I call it back to me, and I claim my mind, my body, my head, my space as sovereign, sacred, free. I claim my energy. I claim all of me now. From all time, space, dimension, I command my energy here now, blessed, purified through the violet flame of transmutation. I send everything back. Everything that is not mine, I send it back now.
Okay. And you can keep doing that. Just, you know, and you'll become stronger in your command every time. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be many words. I mean, for me, how it works, it might be different for you. For me, how it works is like the shorter I just send everything away, I become really strong, and I'm like, I send all of that away, and I pull down sort of like, you know, my sort of like energy, and I'm commanding it strongly. So I use less words and more, and I can even like see the energy leaving.
Okay, so what I should do is,
because that is a practice, you know, so you get stronger.
well, I want less words
You get the
too.
more
I
strong
just,
you get. The more
I'm ready to
energy
have,
together that you get, the more strong you get. What?
I'm ready to have less words too, because that just seems like a lot to say all the time. So to say I send everything back, and I call all of my energy back
Yeah.
in my full strength, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a week. Oh, I'm grateful for that information, Barbara.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, go and read. I'm always going to repeat this because word transformation for me has such a massive impact. But on my website, you have the ebook to download or information. There's a tab that says "Or Transformation," and maybe it's for you. I don't, you know, everyone that's here. I don't know if it is or not. Each one has to make their own choices because we have our own divine free will, and we have to follow our hearts. But just I speak about it because people need to know about it.
I
To make-
thank you. I thank you, and I'm going to check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Many blessings.
Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you,
Go,
Lauren.
keep going strong.
That was
Wrong.
powerful, Destiny. We were all saying that right alongside you, sister. Yes, yes, we heard a shift. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Destiny.
Love you guys. Thank you for this. Thank you for this experience.
You're so beautiful.
Yeah. And again, I want to remind everyone, we are out of time. I'm so sorry. There's questions, but if you would like to work with Barbara, you can see how she interacts with people. You can see how she is intuitive. She can sense things, and her help. She is here to assist you in being the beautiful soul that you came to this planet to be. Barbara Canals can help you with that. Barbara, thank you so much for this quantum conversation today. You usually teach mastery empowerment courses, but this is so special on our conversation, and we're glad to have you. And we are full of fresh energy from our time today. Thank you. As we say goodbye, any final thoughts, comments?
I just want to give you thanks for all the work that you do so much, and all the energy that you put into all this. It's incredible. And I thank you for always letting me speak out here, and, supporting so many of us, supporting different voices and different perspectives and opinions. And that is what we're doing towards the future. It's being able to accept so many different ways, so many, and that is the new time. Every time more, we'll be able to hold more views, more perspectives, and understand people in different ways, instead of straight away going and fighting against somebody. Being open and allowing, and knowing that there's a perfect place and time for all of us. But I thank you so much. I love you so much, Lauren. It's amazing. You're an amazing being. Yeah.
For that beautiful reminder. I think there was even a question that I saw on chat or the Q&A, and I really think that you've just given us the answer to that. We can transcend the duality. We can transcend the duality within our spiritual community. We can rise above all of it to a new perspective on everything. And keep in mind that there are 8 billion ways to ascend on this planet. And we're each doing it. So thank you, Barbara, for your bright light. And thank you, everyone, for your light. Our world feels different right now in this moment. It uplifts me every day. We have one of these conversations, and you're all part of that. So hold your light bright and be sovereign.
Yeah, love you all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Barbara.
Sending so much love.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.